Tolkien didn't write manifestos. He wrote myths. But buried in The Lord of the Rings is a deeper philosophy, one that speaks directly to our modern condition. It's not about left or right. It's not about party politics. It's about power, freedom, and the eternal tension between control and conscience. And when you start to unpack it, you find yourself standing shoulder to shoulder with Nietzsche, with Mises, with the Greeks. Let's start with Nietzsche, because The Lord of the Rings is, at its core, a meditation on the will to power. The ring isn't just a magical object. It's a lie. It whispers that with just enough power, you can fix the world. You can impose order. You can do good, faster. That's the danger Nietzsche warned about, not brute tyranny, but moral tyranny, the person who says, "This is for your own good," and picks up the ring. Boromir believes it. Saruman believes it. Even Frodo, at the last moment, believes it. And that's Tolkien's chilling point, even the well-intentioned fall. The desire to impose order is the beginning of corruption. Now contrast that with Ludwig von Mises. In Human Action, he lays out a vision of society built not from top-down control, but from the free decisions of individuals acting with limited knowledge and subjective values. No grand plan. No central ring of power. Just freedom, and the order that emerges from it. And that's exactly what we see in Tolkien. The free peoples of Middle-earth, and that name is no accident, are not united by hierarchy or ideology. They act independently, morally, and locally. Elves, dwarves, men, hobbits, all doing what is right, where they are, with what they have. And yet, they converge. Not by command, but by conscience. It's a Misesian insight wrapped in myth. Order doesn't come from domination, it arises from freedom. And that brings us to the heart of Tolkien's ethics, means versus ends. Sauron, Saruman, even Denethor, they are ends-driven. They want peace, victory, order, and they're willing to sacrifice anything to get there. The means don't matter. But Gandalf, Sam, Faramir, they're means-driven. They do the right thing because it is right, even when it seems irrational, even when it costs them. Gandalf lets Gollum live. Faramir refuses the ring. Sam stays loyal. And here's the twist, that's what works. In Middle-earth, as in real life, moral means lead to lasting ends. Not through force. Through fidelity. Now let's pull it all back to the Greeks, because Tolkien's world is steeped in ancient wisdom. Plato gives us the ring of Gyges, a test of character. Would a person still act justly if no one could see them? Frodo, our modern Gyges, tries. But in the end, he fails. Tolkien's answer to Plato is stark: no one is immune to power. The only real victory is to refuse the ring entirely. Aristotle, in his Politics, warns us, the good life is found in the polis, the small, knowable community, not the empire. The Shire, then, isn't just charming. It's philosophical. It's the ideal Aristotelian polity, no ruler, no central plan, just tradition, virtue, and shared life. And through Stoicism, we find echoes in characters like Sam and Gandalf. The Stoics taught that we must live according to nature, practicing virtue regardless of the outcome. That's Samwise to the letter. That's Gandalf. That's even Frodo, before the ring breaks him. Tolkien's heroes don't try to control the future. They endure. They act justly. They accept the limits of their knowledge. They're free, in the truest, Stoic sense. Zoom out and look at the fellowship. You'll notice something, it's Plato's tripartite soul, externalized. Aragorn's courage, Gandalf's wisdom, Sam's earthy loyalty, reason, spirit, and appetite in harmony. And when that harmony breaks, when one member tries to dominate, Boromir, the whole thing collapses. Order in Tolkien isn't about dominance. It's about balance. Moral, psychological, political. So what is the Lord of the Rings, really? It's a warning, those who seek to impose good will become tyrants. And it's a whisper of hope, those who simply do good, with humility, fidelity, and courage, will create something better than any empire, a free world, ordered not by force, but by conscience. Tolkien wasn't nostalgic. He was prophetic. He saw where we were heading, toward rings of power, toward centralization, toward people who say, "Trust me, I'll make it right." And he offered us a myth, rooted in ancient truth, that says, don't. Don't take the ring. Plant your garden. Know your neighbors. Be faithful in the small things. And together, without planning it, we might just save the world. So if you're watching this and wondering, how do we fight back? How do we change a world spiraling toward control, toward surveillance, toward power for its own sake? The truth is, you can't force the world to change. That's the trap. That's the ring. But you can reflect something better. Neville Goddard called it the mirror principle, that the outer world reflects the inner state. That what you radiate, you invite. That your life becomes what you believe, speak, and live out, not once, but consistently. The Bible says it more simply, you reap what you sow. Tolkien shows it in myth, you don't defeat Mordor by building a better fortress. You defeat it by carrying a heavy burden, refusing domination, and staying true, even when no one's watching. So plant what you want to see grow. Sow freedom. Sow kindness. Sow courage. Sow restraint. Speak truth, live with integrity, and trust that the world, like Middle Earth, has a way of answering those who act with humble strength. That's how you change the world, not by conquering it, but by becoming what you wish it were. And the universe, like a mirror, just might reflect it back.